Hey everybody, I hope you all are having a fantastic Wednesday. If you knew how many times I have tried to do this recording, I might as well have just went live. But we're preparing for the fourth, and I wanted to make sure that I get a chance to spend time with my family, and I hope you all are doing the same. So if you catch this now or you catch this later, I am just excited that you caught it at all. If you are new to my channel, thank you for joining me. My name is Tiffany Hodge, and I am an LMSW or a licensed master social worker in the state of Georgia and South Carolina. And my channel is all about providing basic mental health education to everyday people so you can become self aware, self regulating, and knowing how to govern yourself emotionally, right? Today, we're going to be talking about emotional literacy. I'll get into that in a minute. Let me just do a couple housekeeping things. Number one, if you are watching this on my YouTube channel, make sure your notifications are on so you do not miss when I am live. Number two, make sure you have a pencil and a pad or something to write with, even if it's your phone. Make sure you have something that you're jotting notes down, because the tip may come around and you're like, what did she say? And I want you to be able to write that down. And sometimes I may ask questions that I want you to answer. You don't have to answer them in the comment section, because I know, asking people about mental health in such a public forum can be intimidating. So I respect that you might not want to put your comments or thoughts in the comment box. So I understand that. Please remember, if you have a question that you want to ask more privately, you can email me, and my email will be in the description box below. Please know I will not be providing mental health counseling through an email. Okay, so don't ask me anything too specific. You need to reach out. If you're in my area, you can reach out to me through my website, or if you are in another state that I do not service, please reach out to your local community to find mental health professionals in your area so they can actually give you that guidance. Number three, if you are currently in therapy, please continue to work with the therapist you are with. My information on any platform, my website, my podcast, my YouTube, any social media. It's not to replace the work that you are doing with your therapist. I'm super excited that you have invested in yourself. So please continue to do the work according to your therapist and the one that you are working with. I'm just here to provide basic information so we all are very clear about what's going on as it relates to mental health. All right, now that I've done some homework, let's get to it. I want to welcome you back to another episode. Remember, this is Catch This Now. I don't know if I've already introduced myself, but I'm going to do it again. My name is Tiffany Hodge, and we are talking about emotional literacy today. One thing that was going on as I prepared myself for this, I was going to do emotional regulation, but I said, you know what? I've seen enough videos, streams, and all kind of things about emotional regulation. I wanted to provide you with a different take, with something a little bit more advanced, if you will. And let's talk about emotional literacy. So I decided to switch it up, and that's what we're going to cover. And I want to give credit to the individual that actually published a groundbreaking book called Emotional Intelligence in 1995. His name is Daniel Goleman. He published the books. If you've ever read that book, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you can always look it up, Google it, go to the local library, see if you can find the book, see if you can read it, so you can learn about what emotional intelligence is. I'm not going to give you a big overview of it, just a very general one, so we can all understand what emotional literacy is and how important it is for us to understand it. I do believe that in order to regulate something, we must understand what it is, right? And we must have a concrete definition of emotion. So please, you can look at, I'm stopping because that may be my dog. If you hear dogs, doors, anything like that, my kids are here, the dog is here, so everything is going. And that's why I've had to record this thing like 7 times. If you're in my newsletter, please, if you haven't, or if you want to see some of my behind the scenes, make sure you are a part of my newsletter, because that's where you're going to get the good takeouts over there on in my newsletter. But back to what we're talking about, emotional intelligence. One thing I want you to understand about your emotional intelligence: it is not good, bad, right, or wrong. It just is. There are things that we are experiencing, and so we want to be able to, number one, debunk that it's a good thing, it's a bad thing, it's a right thing, it's a wrong thing. It's an emotion. We all have them. We are all human. And so let's get that out of our thought process, that these things are good or bad. Sometimes they can be inappropriate. And that's what we're talking about when we talk about emotional intelligence. So I got a question for you if you've grabbed that notebook and that pen. How emotionally intelligent are you? That is the question. How emotionally intelligent are you? That you don't have to answer that to me. You can write that in your journal. You can write that in your notepad or wherever you're keeping the notes when we are on live. Um, just something for you to explore. Because guess what? People are exploring you, whether you know it or not, on social media, technology, and all these things are actually playing to our emotions. And how emotionally intelligent are we to understand that that is actually what's happening? So that is the reason for the question. How emotionally intelligent are you? Now, just what is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is not about controlling emotional responses. That's regulation. Okay? We ain't talking about that. It is not about controlling emotional responses from one's own benefit and that of another, right? Because sometimes when we're trying to regulate, we're doing that to spare somebody, okay? Or we're trying to spare ourselves, right? So that's us regulating it. It is more about what emotion is appropriate for the situation. Two totally different things. And I know you're probably saying, like, Tiffany, whatever. But just follow me here and let me guide you through that. There are situations where certain emotions are not appropriate. Is that fair to say? Yes. And there are some situations where trying to regulate an inappropriate emotion just is not going to work. That's why you have to be intelligent in your emotion in order to understand, wait a minute, I can't show this, or this might not be an appropriate place to do this. So let me figure out some other way to respond. What? Oh, I thought I heard something. You what? Oh, thought I heard something. Okay. But I didn't. What we can do, if we all can, my eyes itching. Okay. What I want us to do, if we can we just at least agree that emotions are heartfelt? They come from our heart, and we feel them all day, and they're always over here. So emotions can persuade and afford our confidence, right? They give us the confidence. They can persuade how we maneuver in life. They can do all kind of things. It can send us into a fight or flight. It can provide us with joy and happiness. And I think that's something that we're all looking for. We all want to be happy. We all want joy. We all want all of these things. And our emotions can give us that sense, if you will, of being able to maneuver and manage and maintain through all of that. Emotional intelligence is a very mature part of our emotions, if you will. So like when we're trying to emotionally regulate, that's like children. We try to teach our children emotional regulation. I'm trying to teach some adults emotional intelligence. Okay, I teach children how to emotionally regulate. Adults, young people, how intelligent are we in our emotions? Because you should have learned how to regulate them things when you were 5, 6, 10, 12, right? And listen, a hit dog will holler. I'm not saying anything. If you feel hit, then you might want to continue to follow me. You might want to hit subscribe. You might want to jump in and stay a part of my newsletter. because we're talking to adults here and we're talking about our intelligent level when it comes to emotion. We are not talking regulation. I help regulate children's emotions. Adults, we need to be able to say, this is where I am in my maturity level of my emotions. Okay. Yes, I am going to challenge you. And if you feel a little sting, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you feel the sting, because as long as you are journeying with me on this channel, or whatever way you are connecting with me outside of social media, I want to help show you how to do it, so you can be an emotionally intelligent adult, not trying to emotionally regulate your our, because I've had to do it right, our childhood emotions here. All right, let me stay on topic, because if you know me, I'll get off topic real quick. The mature part of us, that emotional intelligent part, allows us to acknowledge the needs, love them, indulge in them when it is appropriate, right? That's a key thing. When is this appropriate? And it encourages us to be creative. Yet the great thing about emotional intelligence is it is going to tell us to resist the foolishness, and and also resist destructive behavior. Okay, we are sometimes in a state because we are so trying to still pedal through regulation. You should be past regulation if you're 40. You should be past regulation if you're 30. You should be past regulating these emotions in your 20s. You should be into your intelligent state. If that is you and you need some help, you can email me, Tiffany at tiffanyempowers.me, and I'll be more than happy to see how I can be of assistance to you. To be emotionally intelligent, one must be at peace and ease with their own emotions. You got to be okay, folks. You know, a lot of times we're just not. We're not okay with where we are. And I say we because I am also human. I'm also in this experience as well. But am I okay? And am I at peace with these emotions that I am feeling? Am I okay and at peace with the emotions that someone else may be feeling? Because if I find it hard to relate to others and respond appropriately, excuse me, my nose, every video, my nose, right? Then we need to examine our emotional intelligence. If I am not okay with how you are expressing your emotion, then I might not be at peace with my own. Okay, if you got any comments, you can put them down in the box and I'll read them. Um, throughout next week. I probably won't read anything today, but I will answer and respond any questions that I do see in the comment box. So please make sure you understand that your emotional intelligence is an adult. It's an adult thing. Your emotional regulation is more of like, okay, that's my kid. Just being There has to be some separation between adults and children. I think we live in a society where the line is very thin. And so when we're looking at our emotions, same thing. There has to be a line between emotional intelligence and emotional regulation. And so I'm just trying to paint a picture for you, if you will. And that's why I'm using that analogy. I'm not saying that you are a child. I'm saying that the way that you are responding may be due to you're just regulating the emotion which you learned as a child. We should have learned as children how to emotionally regulate. Because when we become an adult and we're in certain situations, how are we emotionally intelligently responding to the situation is the question I have. And I know, like I said earlier, my view might be like, girl, I ain't got time for that. Okay, cool, not a problem. But I want to remind you that is, make sure you understand either you're going to channel and take care of yourself or somebody's going to do it for you. My grandmother used to say either you listen to me when it was her, or you're going to listen to the world who don't know nothing about you. And they're going to tell you how to be. And that's what I'm trying to help you understand. We have so many things that is telling us how to be. I'm trying to actually teach you how to know what you are and who you are in this bigger picture, and how are you responding without having people to tell you how to do it. I just want to remind you, it's not about holding your emotions in, right? Emotional intelligence is not about holding in. It is not about letting them all loose either. Just one must be aware of how they experience emotion. How do you experience it? Is it positive? Or I don't even, and I know my husband, he laughs at me a lot. He's like, you and these words, because words matter. How are you experiencing each emotion? Is it bringing up some things in you? Is it bringing up joy? Is it bringing up pleasure? Is it bringing up anger? Is it bringing up a fight or flight? How are you experiencing these emotions is another amazing question that you may want to jot down and write about in your journaling time if you are journaling. Again, I know most of you are going to look at me and be like, whatever, I ain't listening to nothing she talking about today. And that's okay. But hopefully over time, you'll come back to this video and you're like, okay, I really need to be listening, because I need to take heed of where I am in my emotionally intelligence, or am I just regulating them? I would caution you to make time for yourself. Learn about you as an entire being, as an entire person. What does that look like for you? If you do not, if you do not spend time exploring and realizing who you are, somebody has already done it, and they are feeding you what you need to know, whether you know it or not, or how you need to respond. And it's not always going to be individuals like myself and a few other people that are really out here trying to say, hey, you need to take some accountability to where you are in your emotional intelligence. You should have learned regulation a long time ago. If you did not learn emotional regulation, no problem. You need to be seeking professional help with people that can help you learn how to emotionally regulate, and then come back to this video and we'll teach some emotional intelligence. Okay. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment box. If you are watching this, if you are listening online, or through Catch This Now, the podcast, you can also leave your comments in the comment box wherever you're streaming. And I thank each of you for taking this time to watch this video. I will be live next week. Okay. Please make sure your notifications are on so you do not miss when I am live. All right. Next week, we will talk about, how do you really view yourself? Okay. Not how do you view yourself after we've got filters and social media and all this other. How do you view yourself? And again, I've said in several videos, we don't know to what extent COVID has had, but we are slowly seeing what it has had on ourselves and our development of who we are as individuals, and how we are processing through things. So I want to actually bring this conversation forward next week. Please make sure, we want to know, how do you really view yourself? And we'll get into that. So make sure you join me again. I'll be back live next week on my YouTube channel. Please make sure, if you have not already, download your free self-care journal prompts. If you have not, please download them. They are free. Go over to my website. The link will be in the description box. Click on there and head on over there and grab those and get to journaling, getting to know yourself a little bit better. If you are in the Augusta area, I will be a vendor at the Mentally Wealthy Summit on July 20th, 2024. This is a free event. I'm going to give away one 6-week session. There I'm gonna have some hard copies of the self-care journal, and I'll have a mental health bag that I'm going to be giving away too. So if you are there, please stop by my table and let me know that you saw this video, and that's how you know you stopped by the table. Okay. The event should be on my social media as well, so you'll see the promo there. I would like to give a big shout out to Young People Nation podcast for actually sponsoring 2 tickets for my Dating with Kids workshop coming up August 10th. I will be giving those away as well. Make sure you go over and check out their podcast. It's called Young People Nation with the Perrys. Very inspirational, and thank them for sponsoring my workshop, for helping people learn how to date while they have children. And this can, even married people can be a part of this conversation, because dating can be tricky when you have kids, and especially if you're single. If you've visited my channel, my story. You can go over there and check it out. I won't bore you with it today, because I'm trying to wrap this up for everybody. But just go check it out, and then you'll know why it's important for me, not only as a social worker, but as a person that dated with children. Um, why it was so important for me to put this workshop together. And so it's going to be virtual August 10th. The tickets will be given away soon, so make sure you stay connected with me outside of social media, by joining my newsletter. Okay, my blogs are now up and running too, providing information there. And in a couple weeks, I will be running the companion videos with any worksheets that you are purchasing. So be on the lookout for that. I'm super excited about the things that are coming. Um, and I'm excited about being able to be a good resource to those you in social media world and in my community. Until next week, everybody, please stay engaged, continue to educate yourself, and take the enlightenment as it comes. If you do nothing else, please stay empowered, good people. Enjoy yourself, take care of yourself, and I'll see you next week.